please just don't get eat up by fees, because you're brick and mortar, man, and that could really hurt you unless your margins are really good. I want everybody to win, and that's truthful, because so many people help me. You got to go ahead and pull the trigger. You got to put the money into it. You got to close on it and make it happen.
All right. So the business model, we have been to a lot of different vape shops, smoke shops. I mean, across, the East Coast. Our model of business, we're trying to do a little bit more trendy, more boutique model. When you walk into the shop, typically shops, I mean, they all have the same look. So we're trying to be a little bit more trendy, neon signs, the grass walls, plant walls, you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Our concept is not only vapes, and smoke shop accessories, but we're going to have a part that is exotic snacks. That is a upcoming market, right? Mm-hmm. Chips from Japan and so on and so forth, right?
Okay, well, Amir, let me tell you this. I've been seeing that for the last 3 years. So you're right, it is very emerging, but I don't know if the word emerging, if emerging is the word. I think expanding is more the word, because we're not just seeing it from Japan and the Asian countries. We're also seeing it from Australia, and we're also now seeing it from Europe.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Cheetos is not Cheetos in just in America. Cheetos is very different tasting in other countries. And if you ask me, they're much better in other countries. And you've never had a Snickers till you've had a Japanese Snickers. You've never. And to me, it's like having a Mexican Coca-Cola. Once you've had a Mexican Coke, you just don't want your Coke any longer.
Going back, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So just understand, you're not just looking at the Asian populace, you're also looking at the European populace as well.
Correct.
And if you're not seeing that from your supplier, let me know, and I'll hook you up with those people as well.
And we were hoping that you would be able to help us out on that side.
Oh yeah, man. I'll give you anything you need, man, because we're not in competition, man. And none of us are. Even in Louisville, I know everybody in this area, and I'm trying to be real cool with everybody, but for some reason they all believe we're all in competition, and we're not. We're not. If we would all work together, and I'm not talking about price fixing, I'm talking about just being cool, and that's what's wrong with our world, though. That's really what's wrong with our world.
I hear you.
So if I can help you in any way, if it's giving you a supplier, because we don't sell that, because if I have food in this building, I'm eating it. and I know better, man. I just eat into the profits, and I can't do that, and I'm already type 2 diabetic. I don't need that chocolate, but man, I'm telling you, a Japanese Snickers is, whoo, boy, it's good. It's good.
I hear you.
For sure.
I hear you. And that, yeah, we're talking about all, not just the Asian market. It was just to kind of give context to the idea. So we're going to be implementing that as well in there. One of our strategies, which I don't know how the market is up there in Kentucky or not, but a lot of things, a lot of ghost kitchens are coming up for, say, here in Florida. We're in Tampa, Florida. One of the ideas that we had, which we're still kind of diving into, is putting that side of the business, because generally we're building a brand, right? And under that brand, there's a few different branches, one of them being the smoke shop side, one of them being the snack side. We're trying to put that snack side into a ghost kitchen model as well as a walk-in model, and try to get that onto Uber Eats as a conventional convention store. You go, you buy your snacks, kind of like a gas station, but on Uber Eats, because that generates tremendous amount of volume.
Oh yeah, but it also creates a tremendous amount of fees.
It does.
So I mean, and we find, I mean, here the local kitchens up here are fine. The restaurant, we call them kitchens here, but because I've been in that industry, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. I bartended my way through college, so we find that the local kitchens here are finding that the Uber Eats and the other places that deliver the DoorDash and things of that nature is just tearing their profits up.
Yeah.
And so, of course they had to do it during the pandemic. Don't get me wrong, but please just don't get eat up by fees, because your brick and mortar, man, and that could really hurt you unless your margins are really good.
Yeah, and that's one thing about those products is, I mean, you'll have, 300-400% margins on them.
Hey, well, don't kid yourself. People are inherently lazy. Human beings don't want to leave the house if they want to stay in their pajamas. You can go to any Walmart and prove that. But they don't want to leave the house. So if they think, I got to have that Japanese Snickers, and I know that you guys have it, and you're right down the street, they won't get in their car. They will literally DoorDash that.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh, I've seen it. I know it's true, man. I know it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's one part of the business. I think that's a big focus, but that's not going to be the revenue driver. Yeah. If that makes sense. The revenue driver is really going to be our smoke shop, vape shop.
Yep.
Primarily focusing on vapes.
Right. Have everything you can in there that will make money. So if it is those snacks, those drinks, anything like that, I really will just tell you, don't get involved in cigarettes. Do not let your DoorDash stuff that's smoking accessories be sent to anybody. Do not do that, because you can't guarantee that the 14-year-old with daddy's credit card isn't getting your vape stuff. And next thing you know, the county sheriff's in your front of your building wanting to know what the hell you're doing.
So that's a good question, right? Because for say something I've seen is I've ordered alcohol on Uber Eats, right? The liquor store, when they come to me on their phones, they have to scan my ID before they can hand me, my beer, right? And that ID is scanned. I don't know what system they're using, but it verifies it and checks, hey, this is a real ID, is of the age. And I think, I'm not sure if that's kind of a liability barrier.
It is for them. But will they surrender that to you should there ever be a question?
Right.
Gotcha.
And that's a phone call away. You literally let whoever you're signing up through, hey man, I need to know that, if I ship these vape products through you, that you're verifying this, because I'm telling you, man, the police will lay in on you, and the county attorney can't wait to shut you down. Can't wait to do it, because you're low-hanging fruit. I mean, you're not the heroin or cocaine or meth that, they don't want to deal with, because that's a nightmare situation. You guys are brick and mortar, and they've got your paperwork and a business license right there. Plus, they know exactly where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you got verification and proof with paperwork that these people were supposed to do that, and you're no longer held liable, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Absolutely. And that kind of leads to the second question, which is, we're talking about snacks initially. Our second idea, and again, this is not the main revenue driver, but this is an idea that I think could generally boost revenue by a lot, is a delivery service
in-house.
In-house. Obviously, that would be, my brother and I are going to be full-time operating it, at least for the first year, to make sure everything's running smooth. And then once kind of we feel comfortable with bringing somebody else on, we'll bring them on and go on from there. But at the beginning, we want to, nobody's delivering. I see this. Nobody. Some people started to, dive into it a little bit when COVID started, but nobody, no vape shop, smoke shop is delivering. Now, there's, upsides and downsides to it. Realistically, when you're out of, your vape and stuff, you drive over there.
You do whatever it takes, yeah.
You're in need of nicotine, so you drive over there. But I think that is, convenient to people for, say, they have kids, they can't, take their kids to the smoke shop, or, they're taking care of their baby or working, and they want to order some stuff. I think that's where some revenue would come in. And secondly, if we're somehow able to actually put that on Uber Eats or, services like that, that takes the delivering away from us. And that lets us focus on the brick and mortar while we already have we're utilizing the platform and the customer base of those companies to be able to.
Okay, so what I see the problem with this is in Joe Biden's America, gas is expensive. And with operating costs going up, so will insurance. And so and for you to be a delivery person or a delivery service, you're going to have that vehicle insured as such.
Yes.
So yeah, you could buy you a little Ford Transit, a little small transit van or a little Ram transit van, and then you graphic it all up, and of course you can write all that off. And so as you're cruising around in it, you're rolling advertisement at all time. But it's commercial delivery. It's the risk of being robbed. And I know you all think that sounds crazy, but we hear about it from Lyft drivers being robbed, even though they don't have money. They don't even have money on them, and they rob them and they shoot them. And I'd be very leery. And I would definitely check with my insurance agent. Hey, if we did this, what's that look like? What do we need to have there? What do we need to do there? And be very transparent and very open and honest, because if it goes south, which we pray it doesn't go south, but if it does, always be prepared for the worst. And especially in this industry, because they will demonize you two boys, and they will make you all out to be like, you knew better, you shouldn't have been in this business in the first place, yada, yada, yada. Even though you're a legal state, they're going to say that, you're out there peddling on the street, when that's just not true. You're not sitting on a corner, hey, vapes here, get your vapes. We're not doing that. And that's not what you're talking about doing. You're talking about a legitimate service. So that's where the professionals, in my opinion, such as, DoorDash and, Uber Eats and whoever, that's where they come in. Let them carry the liability, and you guys carry nothing, and that's why they fee you out, but you write the fees off as well.